Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a fascinating and honestly, maybe slightly terrifying reality about human perception. But hey, don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom here. We're going to look at how a profound shift in your perspective can actually lead to true, lasting psychological sovereignty. So, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by just how much other people irritate you, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it. We all experience this, probably almost every single day. You know that intense flash of disgust you get toward a coworker who's whispering in the office, or a family member who just completely rubs you the wrong way, or even a total stranger screaming behind the wheel or posting something ridiculous on the internet. In that exact moment, we firmly believe our anger is a completely objective, totally justified reaction to their broken character, right? We think we're just stating the facts. But what if we're completely wrong? I want you to pause for a second right now and just be brutally honest with yourself. Think of that one specific person, the one whose mere presence or literally just their tone of voice makes your jaw instantly clench. You got them in your head? Okay, good. Now name the specific trait of theirs that makes you so incredibly angry. Got it? Hold on to that thought, because what I'm about to reveal about that exact trait is going to permanently change how you see yourself when you look in the mirror. Act 1. The reflex of righteous irritation. Let's explore what's really happening here. You see, when you tear someone else apart in your mind, you aren't really exposing them at all. You're actually exposing the hidden architecture of your own mind. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung discovered that we rarely see the world as it actually is. Instead, every single day when we step outside, we carry this invisible lens, and it's constructed entirely of our old memories, our deep beliefs, unnamed fears, and past experiences. That means outer reality acts as a great big mirror, and the image reflected back to us is determined entirely by our own inner world. This brings us to Act 2, understanding the hidden shadow. To really grasp why our daily judgments control us so deeply, we have to look at a famous observation from Jung himself. He said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." When you criticize another person with unusual, disproportionate emotional intensity, when your voice actually changes or your body language physically shifts, that is never just an objective observation. It is a profound, flashing red light of a revelation about ourselves. And that leads right into the concept of the shadow. Think of it as a buried collection of exiled traits. Throughout your entire life, you've encountered qualities within yourself that you deemed flawed or unacceptable. So what did you do? You locked them away. Jung called this buried collection the shadow. But because you just can't bear to look at these traits within yourself, you subconsciously project them outwards onto the people around you. Moving on to Act 3, the mechanism of projection. Let's look at exactly how this plays out in the real world. So, how does this actually look in practice? Well, imagine a successful professional who really prides himself on his authenticity. But in every single meeting, he harshly criticizes a specific colleague for being fake and manipulative. His jaw visibly tightens whenever that colleague gets praised for their charm. Jung would argue that this isn't evidence of the colleague's manipulation at all. It's evidence of the critic's shadow. Deep down, this professional secretly longs for that exact social skill and fluency, but he's buried it under a thick layer of contempt. He basically solved the problem of his own suppressed desire by intensely hating it in someone else. Now, just think about the absolute irony of modern internet culture for a second. We have millions of people spending billions of hours every year furiously typing in all caps in comment sections, completely convinced they're defending objective truth and morality. But clinically speaking, the internet is really just a massive, interactive shadow projection machine. We are all out there fiercely attacking our own repressed insecurities, just conveniently packaged in someone else's username. Act 4, the mirror effect. This is where things get really interesting. Now that we can clearly see the problem with projection, how do we actually find a way out? It requires a total paradigm shift into what we call the mirror effect. This means stopping the use of our triggers as weapons against others and starting to use them as detailed maps to ourselves. It's the transformative recognition that everyone you observe is actually reflecting aspects of your own psychological landscape right back at you. This effect means that absolutely every judgment you make contains vital information about your own shadow. It's a constant, daily invitation to examine your own relationship with vulnerability. So how do we put this into action? Well, we can achieve genuine psychological sovereignty through a framework called shadow mapping. This allows us to finally wipe the thick layer of dust off the mirror and look inward. First, you carefully observe who you judge most harshly. Second, pay close attention to the specific emotional intensity. Like, where does your body actually react? And third, use that exact intense reaction as a map to discover your authentic, hidden nature. It's like if you want to know if someone is capable of real growth, gently reflect their own shadow back to them. If they pause and reflect instead of attacking you, they possess true psychological maturity. To do this effectively, you have to be willing to ask yourself a pretty terrifying question. Where does this exact trait live inside of me? You have to accept that you contain the exact same flaws and unlived potential that you viciously hunt down in others. You absolutely must do this to stop your perception from being a mechanism of self-oppression. Because remember, condemnation doesn't liberate, it oppresses. It is only compassionate self-awareness that truly sets you free. When you finally ask yourself that question, you hit a truly profound milestone. In the symbolic and psychological framework that Jung mapped out, the number 111 represents this exact moment. It represents the very first genuine awakening of individual consciousness. It's that beautiful, quiet moment when a soul finally stops running on automatic, inherited patterns and begins recognizing the deeper intelligence operating right beneath the surface. If you've ever caught yourself judging someone, only to suddenly realize you were exposing your own hidden nature, you have experienced this awakening. The next time you feel that intense, burning urge to tear someone else apart, whether it's at the office or online, I want you to stop. Don't attack the mirror. Recognize that the outer world is simply holding up a reflection of your own unacknowledged mind. Have the uncompromising courage to wipe away the dust and claim your reflection by finally meeting the parts of yourself you've been running from your entire life. So I'll leave you with this. What part of yourself are you currently fighting in someone else? And are you finally brave enough to welcome it home?